I'm kind of gross. My husband realized it early in our relationship. We were dating the first time I absent-mindedly put a random crusty tidbit in my mouth. "What are you doing?" he asked. I scraped a sticky purple morsel off my ankle. I hadn't realized he was watching me. When I was unloading my groceries, a yogurt exploded. It's just some dried blueberry, probably. I'm the type of person who cuts the moldy part off and eats the rest of the cheese. The confetti of chocolate almonds, beet chips, and raw Brazil nuts scattered around the bulk area at the grocery store, I used to think of those goodies as my personal buffet. I don't even like Brazil nuts. When I mistook a piece of chewed up gum for a yogurt-covered raisin, I quit the habit. For at least 8 weeks. And then I had kids and realized little eyes were watching, so I quit for real. And though I don't partake of the samples anymore, my right hand still gets twitchy when I walk down the bulk aisle. And while I have a penchant for finding stray crumbs to eat, food remnants are elusive to me when I'm washing dishes. At least once a week, my husband finds a pan I swore I scrubbed clean, visibly caked with food. And yet there I was, standing at my kitchen table, my body tensing, as my sister-in-law wiped the high chair where her 2-year-old had enjoyed his scrambled eggs. "I've got it," I insisted. No, let me do it," she replied. I lunged for paper towels and 409, but she had already taken a Sani wipe to the high chair. My anxiety mounted. Those are the hand wipes. You wipe his face and hands with those. You spray the high chair and the table with 409 and wipe them with a paper towel. I hardly recognized myself. A couple of weeks before, we had taken our baby to the allergist. For months, she had struggled with eczema and congestion, and we were eager to find the root of her problems. Stripped down to her diaper, Lucy squirmed as I held her with just the right grip, so as not to interfere with the skin testing. My husband and I watched with casual curiosity as the spots on her back developed like a Polaroid picture. I imagined the doctor would tell me to cut a few more things out of my diet as long as I was breastfeeding. I'd already given up wheat, dairy, eggs, and soy. What difference would a few more changes make? Nap time had come and gone, and patience, mine and the baby's, was wearing thin. 20 long minutes later, the nurse returned. With her eyes trained on the shower of red spots dotting Lucy's back, she read the preliminary results. Severe allergies to eggs, milk, peanuts, and tree nuts. She told us the doctor would come in to talk to us, and then she would show us how to use the EpiPen. Finally, Lucy was content, asleep at my breast. EpiPen? What? I looked down at my baby's face and began to understand that a rogue cashew could kill her. The weight of it was suffocating. I had not prepared for this. Tears spilled down my cheeks. Until then, when it came to my children, my biggest fears were guns, balls rolling into the street, and texting drivers. Now it is the specter of a stray honey-roasted peanut found on the floor, a bite of banana bread, or a stolen lick of vanilla ice cream that I fear. I had not realized what a luxury it was to fear just the normal things. Under the fluorescent lighting of the stark exam room, with my 8-month-old asleep in my arms, I sat in a hard-backed gray chair and cried. I cried for all of my new fears, and I cried for all the things I'd never had a chance to appreciate, like a box of macaroni and cheese for lunch, that were already lost. I cried, overwhelmed by the chasm between the place where my ability to protect my children ends and my trust in the universe begins. I cried for all the fears that, up to that point, I had never associated with eggs, milk, or nuts. No one will ever love her as much as I do. No one will protect her like I will. When will I have to talk to her about death? Will she mature too quickly, knowing one peanut could kill her? Will she miss the opportunity to just be a kid? Now, instead of using tea tree oil and a rag to wipe the table, I use the antibacterial stuff and a paper towel. Now, instead of just saying thanks, when my husband surprises me with Kim and Jake's cupcakes, I grill him. They're vegan and gluten-free, but do they have nuts? What kind of nuts? Did you ask? Just because they used almond flour last time doesn't mean anything. You have to ask. Instead of sitting at the back of Library Story Hour and scrolling through my Facebook feed, oblivious when my 3-year-old swipes another kid's snack, I will watch my girls' every move. In my bag, next to the EpiPen, will be apple slices instead of goldfish, much to my 3-year-old's dismay. To my husband's dismay, I will still be the person who heats up the week-old leftovers that are probably fine for dinner. And despite the disapproval of the law-abiding, hygienic citizens of the world, and my mother, I will still take my chances on the remnants scattered around the bulk aisle, at least not while my kids are with me.